Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to change the key of one of your songs. However, there's one very important step that I have forgot. So you can see that I have my 4 songs imported. They're all kind of stair-stepping one after another. However, the first thing I should have done was save this to Dropbox. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Press Command S to save. And I'm going to save this in our song library services. This is 2019.1. I forget. .5? Okay. .5, .2. Can't remember if we do O's or not, so I'm going to do some O's. Okay, should have done that first. Anyways, so in order to change the key of our song, going back to the concept of warp, we're going to use warp to change the pitch, the key of our tracks. So this green song, Glorious Day, it imported in the key of D, and in Planning Center we need it in the key of E, so we're going to move it up a whole step. Alright, so there's a couple things that we want to note going into this is we have what I call these top layered tracks. And remember, there are some, like our song and our markers clips, that are just dummy MIDI clips. There's no MIDI information on them. We have a guide audio track that has all of our guide commands. And we have an MP3, which is the original recording of the song. We don't want to change, there's no need to change the key of these top layer tracks. If you really want to change the key of your MP3, you can do that. But there's no sense in pitching like our guide up a key. There's no need to do that. So we're going to want to make sure that we only select our multi-tracks. So that starts with drums, hold down shift, ends with background vocals. Another very important step while you're doing this is zoom in, make sure Ableton recognizes the original BPM of this song, of Glorious Day, which is in fact 110 BPM. And I confirm that because I titled it in our tempo track. It says tempo 110 BPM. Alright, we have all of our multi-tracks selected. I'm going to come down here, click on this gray space. Okay, so you'll see that these tracks are actually not warped. So since Ableton recognizes 110 BPM, you can hit warp, and you can see it warped 13 audio clips. Alright, now since we need to move up a whole step, we're going to type in two half steps. And we're going to change, there's what's called the warp engine. And so there's different engines, and they will process our warping differently. And so since we're working with multi-tracks, that has things like percussive drums, it has electric guitars, pianos, bass guitar. It covers a very wide range of frequencies. And so these are our warp engine options. And so beats, that would not work very well for this wide range of frequencies that we're trying to handle. We're trying to change 13 multi-tracks. So beats probably is not the right one to use. I recommend starting with complex. And zoom out. Okay, so you'll see we're warped. We are transposing up 2 half steps with our complex engine. And we're going to listen to it.
1, 2, intro, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so I've confirmed that's a key of E. It is very important to go through, and it's usually between complex and complex pro. You're going to want to shoot those out and see which one sounds better. You're going to want to listen with some nice speakers or headphones because they do sound different depending on your recordings, and it does totally make a difference. In this case, I'm going to choose complex. So now when we play,
1, 2.
Ableton is actually warping these tracks up in pitch in real time. And so the only downside to that is in this top corner, this percentage meter, this is our computer's CPU power. And so right now when we're not playing, it's at 3%. But whenever I start playing and Ableton tries to repitch all of these in real time, it will spike up.
1, 2, intro, 2.
Okay, so 26% of my computer, that's not necessarily horrible. That's not super alarming, but more CPU power. That's just that's an unnecessary risk of a computer crashing during a service. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our key command, Command J, that will reprint these tracks in the key of E. That way, instead of trying to repitch them in real time, it's just going to create new files that are in the correct key.